Hi, this is a redo of the air-to-air tutorial video for the F-5E. There are a couple major changes in 2.0 that will migrate over to 1.5 once it gets updated again. I also made a minor error in my first video. Start out, we're going to turn on the radar, so we'll set that from standby to operate. If you have a HOTUS, I highly recommend you put this on there. As you can see, the radar is now on. We have several controls for the radar, including range, the TDC, and also elevation controls, which is extremely sensitive. If you do not have a HOTUS, your range is located here. We have 5, 10, 20, and 40 nautical miles, and our elevation control is this knob here. Now you notice here that at 40 nautical miles we do not have a TDC. At 20 we do, and you can move it side to side and up, but only up to the halfway mark. At 10 nautical miles we can move it anywhere, as well as at 5. So just be aware of that. We do have a few screen controls here, such as brightness, and this pitch here has nothing to do with the radar. It's actually just the artificial horizon that's displayed here. And I guess this is cursor brightness, and it doesn't seem to do anything. Coming up here to the gun sight, it's currently off, but we have missile mode, which has a fixed pipper, but will also display ranging information, including max range and too close. We have air-to-air 1 and air-to-air 2 gun modes. Both of these will do lead computing. I have no idea what the difference is between them. And then finally we have manual mode, which is a fixed pipper and takes in depression tables and things like that. So you'll be using that for bomb and rocket runs, as well as if you want to do a snapshot in air-to-air. Switch that back to missile. We also have a couple of close quarters radar modes, which I'll show right now. If you go to your stick controls, right there, we have Dogfight Missile, Dogfight Gun, and Resume Search. Dogfight Missile and Dogfight Gun are basically vertical scan modes like you'd have in a modern jet fighter, and Return to Search is Return to Search. Now to fire off a missile, we're going to have to lift that cover up, switch to master arm on. You can hear the tone even though no sidewinders are selected. We have a volume control there. We can select our 2 sidewinders, and those are now hot. We can fire those even without a lock. That said, I'm not going to. Now I also have a drop tank, which I'll go ahead and get rid of now. So I'm going to turn off the fuel pump for the drop tank. I'm going to select the center pylon, press selective jettison to up, and then press the jettison button. And then turn those 2 things back off. Now, if you want to fire a sidewinder, it is very important to have the selective jettison turned off, these other hard points turned off, and the external store set to safe. If any of those are turned on, you will not be able to fire a sidewinder. You can, however, have your bombs armed, and it should work fine still. So just be aware of that. If you press the button and a sidewinder won't fire, I guarantee you it's because you forgot to reset one of these switches. Alright, now I have bandits off to my left. Somewhere. Now I'll go ahead and speed this up to get us into range. The AIM-9 P5 is all aspect. In 1.5 there's a bug where you won't get a lock from anywhere but rear, but in 2.0 they fixed that, so you can get a lock from any direction. Hell, I've even got a lock right now. Though I am way fucking far out of range. Getting closer up. I'll go ahead and lock one. once I can. Failed to lock. Try again. This isn't early radar like the MiG-21, so it doesn't always work. Come on. There we go. There's a lock. I'm in missile mode here, so you can see the range indicator. I also have a lead doohickey there. Show me where to plot an intercept. It's now disappeared. But I can see him up there. Now these are all aspect, so I can put my pipper on him. Now I have a lock. No longer have a lock. To maintain a lock, you have to press and hold the missile uncage button. By holding that, I can now maneuver around and maintain a lock. Now at the current time I'm still out of range, so I'm not going to shoot. Now I'll go ahead and demo the Dogfight missile mode as well. So I'm going to switch that on. You see there, but I do not have a lock, and there's the lock. Now just like with the MiG-21, we have a crosshair for the enemy plane and a circle for my nose position. And if you're fighting in the blind, you should be able to line those up, although it's extremely difficult, as I've found out in the previous attempt at this video. Now at this point, I think I'm in range, so I'll uncage the seeker and fire. I don't expect this to hit. Wow, it actually hit, and he's down. I have noticed the missiles in general love to eat flares, so it pays to get into a proper firing position. I'll go ahead and shoot down this other one. Oh, after you lose a lock, it leaves Dogfight missile, so you have to reset it every time you lose lock. And you can see a couple indicators here, in range and lock on. Firing. And I guess he's still up. At this point I'll finish him off with guns. I'm going to switch to Dogfight gun mode. And to use the guns, if you have a two-stage trigger, this is real easy. Your first stage will pop open the guns, and the second stage will shoot. If you're using a single stage like me, I have an X-55, then you're going to want to assign this to another button, because if you just press the trigger, like this, trigger down, there's about a half-second delay, and that sucks. So assign some other button to pop open the guns. On the X-55, you have a latched button, or a latched switch on the throttle, and that works pretty well for the guns. Now I lost lock, so I'm going to have to go back to Dogfight guns, and it got a lock again, and I should be able to hit him from here with difficulty. I may be a little bit out of range. I think that right there is the max range indicator. And he's down. And that's pretty much it for air-to-air. As said, you have your three basic modes. You have your BVR mode, which it's currently in, Dogfight missile, Dogfight gun. And by the way, when you're in Dogfight gun, it will override your gun sight setting and automatically put it into A to A1 no matter what this switch is in. So you don't actually have to worry about that in the fight. And that is the way it's supposed to work. So, other than that, if you have a problem, just remember to check all these switches and make sure everything's turned off if you can't fire a Sidewinder. And you do have them. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.